Coming up on NewsWatch Ole Miss, North Mississippi faced some strong storms Tuesday afternoon into early this morning, causing damage in some areas.
The founder and leader of the Oath Keepers and his top associates were found guilty of seditious conspiracy for plotting to keep former President Donald Trump in office.
And Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin signed his contract extension into the 2022-2023 football season Tuesday after weeks of Auburn rumors. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now. Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Verlicia Gavin.
And I'm AC Barker. While it may have been just rain and thunder here in Lafayette County, at least 2 tornadoes touched down Tuesday afternoon in Choctaw and Lowndes County, just a little over an hour and a half southeast of Oxford. Take a look at these photos on your screen. This is Lowndes County. As you can see, these tornadoes caused a good deal of damage. These are some residential homes leveled by Tuesday's storm. Trees, power lines, debris everywhere. Even the Lowndes County Fire Department saw some damage. A pipe burst just a few blocks away from a fallen down power line. This just goes to show the importance of safety and taking shelter, because this can happen to just about anybody. A big thank you to meteorologist Gabe Maynor for these photos. Vehicles and homes weren't the only thing that faced damage from these storms. Lowndes County experienced winds strong enough to blow the steeple off of a church. This happened in the community of Steens, Mississippi. You can see the toppled steeple lying on the ground near the church after the storm. It's still unclear if anyone is inside the church when this happened, and it's unknown if anybody was injured.
This same storm system blew throughout the South, killing 2 people in Alabama last night. The National Weather Service reported at least 2 EF1 tornadoes in the region. The Montgomery County, Alabama EMA director reported fallen trees landing on homes and downed power lines, leaving 1,600 people without power. Teams are now working to restore this power. 2 teams have also been sent to Montgomery, Elmore, and Greene counties by the National Weather Service in Birmingham to look into possible damages. The Mississippi Cannabis Patients Alliance will be hosting a second medical cannabis patient seminar in Oxford. The seminar will be held December 13th from 4 to 6 p.m. MCPA founder and CEO Angie Calhoun was pleased with last year's turnout and is thrilled to be returning. Calhoun says, quote, it is an honor and privilege to be returning to Oxford. The seminar is free to the public and will cover a range of topics, including how to become certified for medical cannabis and a step-by-step explanation of the application process. Studies show that medical marijuana can be a natural way to relieve chronic conditions like PTSD, GI disorders, chronic pain, and more. Pause Pain and Wellness is a medical marijuana doctor, the only clinic in Mississippi with statewide locations staffed by Mississippi healthcare providers. NewsWatch reporter Laurel Wynn has more on what this business does to help patients.
I'm willing to try anything, and when this avenue opened up, I said, why not?
Angela Carlisle has faced chronic pain due to osteoarthritis for 5 years. Her current medicine only provides her as much relief as a Tylenol, which greatly affects her overall health and well-being.
The doctors all tell me that I'm not a candidate for knee replacement because I'm overweight. Well, I can't exercise because my knees hurt.
Medical marijuana is the only form of pain relief that Carlisle hasn't yet tried, and her hope is that with medical cannabis, she can take back her life.
I'm hoping that it'll make me more mobile and it'll make me able to do more, and just have a healthier overall life.
On the other hand, some patients, like Sandra Newman, find cannabis to be their only form of mental relief.
In 2005, I was diagnosed with MDD and PTSD from some abuse I'd suffered in a marriage.
After moving to California following a divorce, Newman discovered medical cannabis and found that it was the best way for her to cope with her anxiety and depression.
The comfort and just the calming effect is something that I need.
Before these patients can get medical marijuana, they must first be approved by a physician and apply for their card. Chronic pain specialist Dr. Kirk Kennard opened his Pause Pain and Wellness clinics to make the process easier, adding a feature he thinks sets the clinic apart from others.
We have a kiosk in the waiting room, and we have an assistant that will help people that aren't adept. And I think that's a good step to have for them. Otherwise, they have to go home. They have 60 days to complete that, or they have to start back over.
After nearly 15 years of treating chronic pain in Mississippi, Kennard is excited to see how medical marijuana can benefit patients.
And that's really where my excitement for it comes, is the suffering part.
Pause Pain and Wellness in Oxford is currently open and approving patients to obtain a medical marijuana card. For Hotty Toddy News, I'm Laurel Wynn.
The runoff results are in. Lafayette County has a new judge. Tiffany Kilpatrick will serve as the first ever county court judge in Lafayette County, defeating Carnelia Fondren. Last night's results showed 2,826 votes for Kilpatrick, which is more than 63% of the total votes cast. Fondren received 1,634 votes. Kilpatrick will serve a 4-year term before re-election in 2026. If you don't have any plans for this upcoming Sunday, be sure to head on over to Nutt Auditorium to get into the Christmas spirit. The Oxford Civic Chorus will be putting on a holiday show called Wintertide Awakes. This afternoon of music will take you on a journey throughout the days leading up to Christmas. This is a full-length concert with choir, string ensemble, and piano features by a number of composers. This event will be this Sunday, December 4th at 3 p.m. in the David H. Nutt Auditorium on campus. The Oxford Civic Chorus also had a performance this past Friday at the Christmas tree lighting event on the square. Families came out to meet special guests, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and kick off the season with caroling sing-alongs of Christmas time classics. NewsWatch reporter Skylar Gerard has more on all the fun.
Holidays in Oxford have officially begun with the lighting of the Christmas tree in the square. Families from all over came to the big event.
An alum from Ole Miss, and this is our first time to come to the tree lighting.
The Oxford Civic Choir sang before the lighting, and Santa and Mrs. Claus were there.
The choir has been a community choir since about, I believe, 1999 was the forming year. We were off for a year and a half due to COVID, but now we're back together and going strong.
People come as a tradition every year.
This concert on the square where they're singing Christmas carols and people are just gathered around and enjoying the season.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here in Oxford. This is Skylar Gerard, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Lane Kiffin has signed a new contract with the Ole Miss Rebels for the 2022 through 2023 football season. The school made the announcement on Tuesday. His contract is set to $9 million. Kiffin has a record of 23-12 in his 3 seasons with the Rebels. Finishing off their regular season at 8-4, the football team is preparing for a bowl game for their 3rd year in a row. Coming up, retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre has a Mississippi court to dismiss a complaint against him.
And the Senate has passed a landmark bill protecting same-sex marriage. More on these stories coming up. But first, let's check in with Madeline Pruitt for your current conditions.
Hey y'all, it sure is cooling off here in Oxford. So if you want to take a study break, go outside, grab a jacket and a friend, and take a walk. Stay tuned for this week's forecast.
Does it ever seem like some people are actually trying to destroy the planet? And the rest of us are like, hey, we need this planet. Some people may be slow to learn, but they'll eventually get the message.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
When you have a hole in your neck, don't face the shower head. suction out your tube before you eat. Crouch. Don't bend over. You don't want to lose the food in your stomach. Don't use spray paint.
Be very careful shaving.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Legacy isn't just about where you're from, it's about where you're going. So where are you going?
I'm going to be the first in my family to graduate.
I'm going to make a difference.
Just like my granddad.
I'm going to make the bestseller list.
And I'm going to help him get there.
I'm going to win a championship.
Again! I'm going to lock the vault! Hotty toddy!
I'm going to take the next step.
I'm going to bring them to their feet.
I'm going to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Build your legacy.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre is asking a Mississippi court to dismiss a complaint against him. The Mississippi Community Education Center paid Favre $1.1 million previously, which came from federal welfare funds. Now the Mississippi Department of Human Services wants him to pay $228,000. The $1.1 million was meant to pay Favre for promotional ads and speaking engagements, but the state auditor said those never happened. Favre did return the money, but the auditor says he still owes $228,000 in interest payments. The former Green Bay Packers star has also been accused of using $5 million from welfare funds to help fund a new volleyball stadium at the University of Southern Mississippi.
And down in Jackson, a crash involving an 18-wheeler and a FedEx truck. The crash happened along Highway 49 and Old Highway 49 in Richland early this morning. The two vehicles collided, causing packages to spill all over the highway. There are no reports of injuries as of right now, and an investigation is underway. It was a landmark verdict for the Justice Department. In a Washington, D.C. courtroom, the founder and leader of the Oath Keepers and one of his top associates were found guilty of seditious conspiracy for plotting to keep former President Trump in office. The jury found 3 other defendants in the case not guilty. Paula Reed reports.
Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the far-right Oath Keepers militia, and one of his subordinates, Kelly Meggs, were convicted of seditious conspiracy Tuesday, the most serious charge brought so far in any of the more than 900 criminal cases stemming from the Capitol attack. Rhodes, Meggs, and 3 other defendants, Jessica Watkins, Kenneth Harrelson, and Thomas Caldwell, were all convicted of obstructing an official proceeding and several other charges.
I think that the character of January 6th is now finally sinking into the whole country.
The Justice Department alleged that the Oath Keepers conspired to forcibly stop the peaceful transfer of power and plotted to attack the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. The trial, the first of 3 seditious conspiracy cases, was a major test of the Justice Department's ability to hold January 6th rioters accountable. The lead prosecutor told the jury in his closing statement that Rhodes and his subordinates claimed to be saving the republic, but they fractured it instead. The evidence presented at trial revealed how Rhodes, a former Army paratrooper with a law degree from Yale, wrote 2 public letters urging then-President Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act, which would give the president the power to call up militants to help him remain in power.
If the fight comes, let the fight come. Let Antifa go. If they go kinetic on us, then we'll go kinetic back on them. I'm willing to sacrifice myself for that. Let the fight start there, okay? Now, give President Trump what he needs, frankly. If things go kinetic, good. If they blow bombs up and shoot us, great, because that brings the president his reason and rationale for dropping the Insurrection Act.
Prosecutors said Rhodes placed a quick reaction force of heavily armed Oath Keepers at a Comfort Inn in Arlington County, Virginia, ready to rush their weapons to Washington if needed. On the day of the insurrection, Rhodes remained outside the Capitol.
We presented a case which showed through evidence and testimony that Mr. Rhodes did not commit the crime of seditious conspiracy. There was no evidence introduced to indicate that there was a plan.
The Senate has passed a landmark bill protecting same-sex marriage. Yesterday, 12 Republicans joined the members of the Democratic caucus to pass the Respect for Marriage Act. This legislation is meant to protect same-sex marriage if the Supreme Court overturns the decision made in 2015 to legalize them. This act also protects interracial marriages. This does not stop individual states from banning these marriages, but it does force these states to recognize these marriages granted by another state. The bill now goes to the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives.
The FBI is investigating a hoax threat made in a high school in Savannah, Georgia. An official with Savannah High School says the building was evacuated this morning after a call reportedly saying a gunman was in the area. Multiple law enforcement agencies responded to the scene. Chatham EMS says one person is currently being treated for a seizure, and the police say there were no other injuries. Parents were able to reunite with their children. Authorities have searched the school, but so far haven't found anything resembling a potential shooting incident. The FBI is now investigating where exactly the call came from. Now let's check back in with Madeline for a quick look at the weather.
Hey y'all, it is currently 49 here in Oxford, which is a drastic change from what we saw earlier on in the week with the warmer temperatures, but we will be having cooler temperatures heading on into the weekend. We'll see more of this when we come back.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Flashlights. What's up, champ? Feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon. Thank you.
Hey y'all, it is currently 49 here in Oxford with clear skies and slight winds coming from the northwest area, which is quite cooler than what we've been experiencing earlier on in this week. And looking at our regional map, we have South Haven cooling us off at 46 and a max at Tupelo at 50. And looking at tonight's forecast, we can see that it's going to reach in the high 20s at 29 with clear skies with winds also coming from the northeast. This is very much lower than what we've been experiencing here this past week during the nighttime. And looking at tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be higher than it was today. It's going to be 50, cloudy with winds coming in from the east. And looking at our map here, we can see where the thunderstorms came from and the cold temperatures that we are currently seeing as they move up southeast over the map. And looking again at tomorrow's regional map, we have South Haven at 49 and Holly Springs, and Oxford and Corinth at 50, and Tupelo at a high of 53. And for our weekly outlook, we can see the temperatures changing throughout this week as we warm up later on this week and cool down around this weekend. We can see the possible showers beginning of next week, and we can see the cold front coming in next week around Sunday, Monday. And once again, we can see that here as we see tomorrow is going to be 50, and Friday and Saturday in the high 50s, and Sunday reaching the low 50s, and Monday reaching low of 60s. And that's all I have for weather this week.
Well, it's good to know that it's going to be warming up a little bit more, and it's good to know what's going to happen for the rest of the week. I think the next question is, Sarah Gill, what's going to happen in sports?
Well, tonight coming up, we've got some Rebel football players that are receiving statewide attention. And we can find out how the women's basketball team fared in their matchup with Alabama A&M last night. I'll have that and more up next in sports.
Creating a legacy takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride? Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Welcome back. Big news for the Rebels as Quinshon Junkins is the 2022 C-Spire Connerly Trophy recipient. He was recognized last night by the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. The award is given to the most outstanding college football player in Mississippi. And an Ole Miss Rebel has been the winner for now 3 straight seasons. Junkins has set the Ole Miss single-season record in both rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. He also leads this SEC and ranks top 10 nationally in total touchdowns and rushing yards per game. It's no wonder he's this year's award winner. Junkins is also a semifinalist for the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year. Congratulations to this Ole Miss Rebel. And sticking with football awards, Nick Broker earned the 2022 Kent Holt Trophy last night as well. This award is presented to the top collegiate offensive lineman in Mississippi, and Broker is the 4th Rebel to get it. Another clear choice since Broker hasn't allowed a sack in 505 pass blocking snaps and is the anchor for the Ole Miss offense, which ranks number 3 in the FBS in rushing yards per game and number 7 in total offense. And keeping with wins, but moving to the courts, Ole Miss women's basketball crushed Alabama A&M last night with a 74-28 victory. The Rebels never allowed the Bulldogs to break double digits in a single quarter, breaking the previous single-game record for fewest points allowed set by Mississippi Valley State in 2016. Snowda Collins was the biggest highlight of the night, especially in the third quarter when she exploded for 4 of her 5 three-pointers and ended the night with a season high of 22 points. Her and the rest of the team face a big road test coming up against number 23 Oklahoma this Sunday at 2 p.m., but you can cheer them on at ESPN+. And 2 Rebels have been named to the SEC Community Service Team. The conference office recognized volleyball right side hitter Samantha Schnitta for her efforts leading a water collection drive for Jackson, Mississippi and surrounding areas, where she was able to help student athletes donate over 10,000 water bottles. She also works with the children in the Oxford community through initiatives like Reading with Rebels, Books and Bears, and so many others. And senior defensive lineman K.D. Hill was also recognized for his work in the Oxford community, like visiting the Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi and Oxford Housing Authority numerous times to provide food and speak with students about perseverance and leadership. We are proud of the example these Rebels are setting and can't wait to see what they do in the future. And that's all I've got for sports. Be sure to follow us at Rebel_Watch for the latest sports updates. With Sports Watch, I'm Sarah Gale. Now back to you, Verlicia and AC at the desk.
Coming up, one of your favorite chicken chains just came out with merchandise.
And it's some of the most creative ideas we've seen yet. Find out more after the break.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too. These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
All you Chick-fil-A lovers out there, listen up, because Chick-fil-A has launched its first ever online store.
That's right, and it's full of quirky merchandise. They've got an I Heart Waffle Fries hoodie and a chicken for breakfast hat, and even a clutch in the shape of the Chick-fil-A sandwich packaging.
And if you're looking to update your nap setup, look no further. There's also a Chick-fil-A sauce-themed blanket and a pillow that looks like a chicken nugget. Prices range from $15 to $75.
And y'all better hurry because the company expects the products to sell out pretty quickly.
Well, AC, do you think that you'll be buying a hoodie or a blanket?
Oh, I know where I'm going right after this. I'm getting on my laptop and I'm ordering everything, especially the blanket and the chicken nugget
Yes,
pillow.
I would love to lay my head and snuggle up with a cute little chicken nugget.
I can't think of anything more comforting, to be honest with you.
All right, well, that's all we have for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Verlicia Gavin.
And I'm AC Barker. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 5.
Thank you and good night.